she died. And I didn't even cry, not a single tear. So if you can expel that thought from your mind.
The internet is going wild, and not for the reasons you'd expect. Out of nowhere, old footage just dropped showing David bent low, wiping down the sneakers of the same young girl who would later be discovered in his trunk. And this isn't just some random clip you scroll past. It looks almost ritualistic, like he's polishing those shoes with way too much care. Social media lost its mind instantly. Some people shrugged it off like nothing major, but others are calling it straight up sinister. What makes it even creepier is nobody knows who leaked this footage or why it popped back up right now. Every second of it feels intentional, like whoever dropped it wanted the world to connect dots investigators might have missed. The big question everyone's asking is simple: why now? Whoever resurfaced it clearly wants us to see something darker than we realized.
We're told early on he was cooperating with cops. Now it seems kind of unclear, but it is kind of interesting because
he's not talking to cops.
That's what we're hearing.
Now he knows they've searched his house. He knows what they were looking for in his house. Anything he says
is incriminating.
This whole nightmare officially started back on September 8, 2025. Workers at a Hollywood tow yard stumbled on one of the most disturbing discoveries the city has seen in years. They opened the trunk of a black 2023 Tesla, and inside was the decomposed body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The car, registered to rising artist David Anthony Burke, better known as David. Imagine this. The Tesla had been towed from the Hollywood Hills just 5 days earlier, after neighbors complained about a nasty stench seeping out. Turns out, that smell wasn't garbage, it was a body. Even crazier, Celeste's 15th birthday had been September 7th, just 1 day before her body was found. But here's the heartbreaking part. Medical reports suggest she never even lived to see it. Experts believe she had been gone for months, likely since April 2024 when she was first reported missing. From the start, this wasn't just a random missing person case. The story that's unfolded since then is packed with chilling details of alleged grooming and manipulation that people say started when Celeste was just 11 or 12. David at the time, around 16 to 18. That alone changes everything. It's not just messy, it's straight up predatory. And the evidence that ties them together is hard to ignore. Both David and Celeste had matching tattoos on their right index fingers, with the same word inked in the same spot. Coincidence? Not likely. A grown teen and a child sharing matching tattoos sends a way more sinister message.
Something called luminol, which can light up
Everyone's
a floor.
seen this on CSI.
Yeah.
That they spray it and it, allows them to see where, if there are traces of blood, even if it's been cleaned up.
When the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner confirmed Celeste's identity, part of the proof was that exact tattoo, the same one David had too. Celeste's own mother even came forward, saying her daughter had been dating someone named David around the time she disappeared. That's not internet gossip, that's direct from the family, and it ties the victim straight to the man whose car she was later found in. If that wasn't disturbing enough, photos surfaced showing David hanging around Celeste's neighborhood right before she vanished. Keep in mind, her home was over an hour from where David lived. He wasn't just passing through, he had to go out of his way to be there. And that kind of effort doesn't happen without a reason. But the darkness goes even deeper. Back in December 2023, just months before Celeste went missing, one of David's demo tracks leaked on SoundCloud. The title, Celeste. Think about that. The song wasn't written after she disappeared, it was made while their alleged relationship was happening. And the lyrics, obsessed, controlling, and flat out disturbing. Bars hinting at tattoos and intimacy that should have never been a part of their connection.
She met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our...
That track alone paints a chilling picture, and when paired with what we know now, it doesn't sound like art, it sounds like evidence. Even more receipts came from Discord chats between 2021 and 2023. Allegedly, those logs show David messaging Celeste while she was still underage. Not all of it's been released, but the fact investigators have them means they're digging through a digital trail that could tell the whole story. And teachers from her past even spoke up, saying they noticed troubling patterns in Celeste's behavior years earlier, when she'd run away and somehow always end up in Hollywood. That lined up perfectly with reports of David being in her orbit.
After our school kind of told people this story, she disappeared again in May of that year. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces.
By the time her remains were found, Celeste's condition was heartbreaking. She weighed just 71 pounds, still wearing a tube top, black leggings, a yellow chain bracelet, and one stud earring. Every detail mattered, especially when paired with the tattoo that locked in her identity. Piece by piece, the puzzle came together. Matching ink, family confirmations, photos of him in her neighborhood, lyrics dropping her name, her repeated disappearances. This wasn't random at all. It was a long trail of disturbing connections that all circled back to David. And soon, it wasn't just about one girl's tragedy. It became something that shook the entire music industry. On September 18th, just 10 days after Celeste's body was found, LAPD stormed a Hollywood Hills mansion tied to David. This wasn't a basic knock and search. They came in with luminol kits, ready to find blood traces, even if the place had been cleaned spotless. This house was only 2 blocks from where that Tesla was abandoned.
That moment happened the day I made Romantic Homicide.
Yes, and by the way, that parking lot, we looked at it on we geotagged the photo and looked at it. It was about a 6-minute walk from Celeste's home where her mom lives.
Red flags everywhere. Reports say cops searched every inch, drains, sinks, pipes, anywhere DNA might be hiding. And the fact that parts of Celeste's body were still missing made this even more urgent. They weren't just looking for stains, they were looking for traces of her inside that house. And here's the plot twist. That mansion wasn't even David's on paper. It was leased under his manager, Josh Marshall, who has ties to Interscope Records. Now people started asking, was this bigger than just David? Was the machine behind him helping cover things up? That mansion went for $20,000 a month. Who was really funding his lifestyle? The receipts kept pointing back to the industry. What really raised eyebrows was how David flexed that mansion on social media.
It says, "Oh, Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest."
Snapping pics, hosting parties with industry names like Benny Blanco and Cat's Eye. He wasn't hiding it, but investigators weren't impressed by the clout. They wanted one thing, evidence tying Celeste directly to that house. So far, nothing solid has turned up. But digital receipts don't lie. Pictures surfaced of David and Celeste looking way too close for comfort. One live stream even showed them together, and David told moderators not to keep it up afterward. That move alone proves he knew how damaging it would look if people connected the dots. And then came the most disturbing image. David and Celeste photographed at an LA event back in October 2023. At that time, she had just turned 13 and he was already 17 or 18.
Would go on Discord and I would go on Fortnite and I would go on like squad fills and I just let people talk to me and just tell me about their lives. I was just opening, being an open door and an open outlet for like my peers and my friends to kind of just like vent to me about different things in their like personal lives and stuff like that. And I would basically just take their lives and write songs about them and write songs for them. And they didn't even know it.
What looked like a casual fan pic now feels like cold, hard evidence of a relationship that never should have happened in the first place. When cops raided that Hollywood Hills mansion, the fallout was instant and brutal. The music industry slammed the brakes on David's career like it never existed. His entire world tour across North America and Europe canceled in a heartbeat. His brand new album shelved before anyone even got to hear it. Interscope Records, the same label tied to his manager, didn't even wait for charges. They pulled the plug immediately. And once the dominoes started falling, they didn't stop. Crocs dropped him, Hollister erased him. Fortnite even scrubbed his emotes so players wouldn't be repping his face online. The Grammy Museum, which once hyped him up, quietly pulled his appearance off the calendar. Merch tied to his darker, blood-soaked aesthetic got yanked from shelves like it never existed. It was a clean wipe, the industry acting like they never knew him. But here's the twisted irony. While corporations were scrambling to erase his name, fans were getting even more curious. His hit Romantic Homicide shot up over 100 spots on Spotify's global charts. Suddenly, a track that was once just edgy background noise started sounding like a confession. Every lyric got replayed under a new light, and it freaked people out. David had once admitted his mom hated that very song, and that rejection actually fueled him to drop it. Now fans are asking, was he venting pain or was he slipping real-life secrets into his music? When he rapped about eliminating someone and not regretting it, the words suddenly felt like a diary entry instead of art. Investigators started combing through everything, connecting his lyrics to Celeste's timeline.
Checking drains to see if there's any, blood evidence or, blood or tissue that was in the drains there. So they did a scouring of this house looking for any evidence.
It's like the music was hiding clues in plain sight. That leaked SoundCloud demo called Celeste suddenly looked less like a love song and more like a warning. His alter ego music videos, loaded with violent imagery, even featured Hello Kitty visuals, the same brand tied to the sandals Celeste was last seen wearing. Was he mocking her memory through his art, or was it his way of leaving breadcrumbs only the bold would catch? Fans who once brushed it off as dark creativity are now looking back, terrified that the whole time he might have been documenting his obsession with her. Through all this chaos, David stayed silent. No interviews, no posts, no statements, not even a whisper. He went completely ghost, both online and in real life. His last confirmed sighting was in Seattle, performing on stage just before LAPD stormed his Hollywood Hills mansion. Since then, not a single public move. And insiders say that blackout wasn't just for show. It extended to the police too. At first he was talking, giving some answers, then nothing. The line went dead. Lawyers clearly told him to shut it down. From a legal standpoint, it made sense. Once cops are pulling drains apart with luminol looking for blood and tissue, every word you say can be used against you. His silence isn't just him hiding, it might be him trying to survive. Meanwhile, LAPD locked down the case so tightly it had the whole city buzzing. Reporters couldn't get scraps of info. The secrecy was compared to huge cases like Brian Berger's, where police went radio silent to protect the investigation. But here, people say it feels different, almost like the cops are guarding something explosive, something too big to leak until they're ready. Unlike other cases where the suspect was unknown, here all eyes were already on David. Everyone's waiting for that one official announcement. He's a suspect. But so far they haven't dropped the hammer, and that silence is only fueling more rumors.
That's not the kind of thing even a famous 20-year-old could do on his own, typically. The one thing we have not seen is a video of Celeste or photos of Celeste in that house.
Let's break it down. Prosecutors can't just ride on vibes. They need proof he was there when Celeste's life ended, or proof he placed her body in that Tesla. Without that direct link, charges won't stick. But the digital receipts keep piling up. Reports suggest David wasn't only in contact with Celeste. He may have been messaging another underage girl too. If that's confirmed, it shows a disturbing pattern. That alone could bury him legally. And the timeline, it gets darker the more you look at it. Allegedly, David first connected with Celeste in 2021 when he was about 16 and she was 11 or 12. By 2023, things escalated, but he had already turned 18 while she was still only 12 for part of that year. That's not just inappropriate, it screams statutory charges, whether or not he's ever tied to her death. And here's where the internet comes in, flipping the whole game upside down. Social media platforms that once helped David blow up are now the same tools exposing him. Reddit sleuths, Twitter detectives, TikTok breakdowns. They're piecing together timelines, screenshots, videos, and song lyrics faster than cops can file warrants. Some people are even making mini documentaries online, building cases from fan archives. It's like a digital trial before the real one even begins. But not everyone agrees. It's justice. Some are calling it mob justice, where the internet convicts someone before the courts do. And yet, the evidence is so messy and so public, people can't look away. Fans are split down the middle. Some feel betrayed, like their idol was hiding a monster the whole time. Others refuse to believe it, saying it's all setups or the industry's framing him. But more and more critics are pointing fingers at the music business itself. How could they ignore all these red flags? His lyrics, his visuals, his behavior online, it was all there. But when money and fame are on the line, warning signs often get brushed aside. Now those ignored signs look like neon red alarms that were flashing the whole time.
I played it for my mom, and whenever my mom hates something, I know it's cool. She was like, David, this song is too violent. You're talking about killing people in your music? No, not my son. And I was like, wait, I might be onto something. Some of my other songs like Take Me to the Sun and The Dirty Secrets before that, and You and I, they're all like these indie up-tempo records that you could just like do whatever to. And I played it for my mom.
Meanwhile, investigators dropped more heartbreaking details about Celeste's final months. She'd run away before January 2024, then again in April. Each time, she ended up further away from her family and deeper into David's world. Her mother confirmed she was dating someone named David when she disappeared. That's not gossip, that's fact. And teachers even remembered seeing her with someone who matched David's description years before. It wasn't a one-off, it was a pattern. By the time she went missing for good, her entire orbit was tied to him. She was only 15, but her life was wrapped up in a rising star who now faces being remembered as something far darker. Her family is left shattered. They even had to start a GoFundMe just to cover funeral costs, all while grieving under the harsh spotlight of the world watching. Every detail of their pain is being picked apart online, but through it all, they've shown dignity and strength most of us couldn't even imagine. As investigators kept digging, new layers of darkness surfaced. Whispers started floating online about possible dismemberment, missing body parts, and even rumors of Celeste being pregnant, all tied to an old tweet from David. None of that has been confirmed officially, but the fact people even believe it shows just how twisted this case feels. Every new piece of info, confirmed or not, keeps pushing the public deeper into a storm of suspicion. And the LAPD hasn't exactly helped calm things down. Their silence makes people wonder if they're holding back the kind of bombshell evidence that could flip this whole thing into a courtroom disaster for David. The heartbreak for Celeste's family is unbearable. They've been forced to grieve in the most public way possible, while internet detectives dissect every photo, lyric, and timeline. Imagine losing your daughter, then seeing strangers turn her tragedy into daily debates online. Her mother's statement that Celeste had been dating someone named David right before she disappeared was already devastating. But pairing that with the tattoo evidence, the demo track, and the photos, it creates a storm no family should ever have to live through. They've begged for support through a GoFundMe just to bury their child, all while holding themselves with a strength most people couldn't find in their darkest hour. And here's the ugliest part. This case doesn't just spotlight one young girl's tragedy, it forces the entire music industry to face some hard truths. How many times have warning signs been brushed aside because an artist is hot and money is rolling in? David's disturbing lyrics were treated like edgy art. His visuals full of violent themes and Hello Kitty references tied to Celeste's own style were brushed off as aesthetic. Industry execs gave him cosigns, labels threw money at him, brands put him on billboards. And now all of that looks like they were helping cover up red flags flashing right in their faces. Meanwhile, fans are asking, where does art end and confession begin? When David wrote, "In the back of my mind, I eliminated you and I didn't even regret it," was that just a dark lyric, or was it him spelling out what he actually did? The timing is eerie too. His breakout hit Romantic Homicide dropped on September 7th, the same day as Celeste's birthday. Coincidence? Maybe. But with everything else stacking up, investigators aren't ignoring that detail. Instead, they're looking at it like one more piece of a puzzle where the music itself might be evidence. And while the industry scrambles to erase his name, social media is doing the opposite. It's keeping him alive. Clips of his old live streams, screenshots of Discord chats, and even leaked texts keep resurfacing. Some fans are defending him, saying innocent until proven guilty. Others are convinced every bar and every lyric was him leaving clues about his obsession with Celeste. TikTok edits of his songs are blowing up again, with people pointing out lines they swear connect directly to the case. Whether you think it's art or a confession, one thing's clear: his silence is only making the speculation louder. Legally, experts say David's situation is messy. Even if prosecutors can't tie him directly to Celeste's death, the alleged inappropriate relationship alone is enough to destroy him. With receipts of messages to her and possibly other underage girls, the case could balloon way past one tragedy. That's why lawyers say it's not just about homicide charges. Exploitation charges could stack up too. And once those stack, the feds might step in. What started as a local LAPD investigation could spiral into federal territory if patterns across state lines get proven. And let's not forget, the streets are talking too. People online say David's silence screams guilt. In the streets, silence isn't neutral, it's loud. If you're innocent, why not speak up? Why not clear your name? The fact that he ghosted everything, music, fans, law enforcement, only makes the world believe he's hiding something big. But legally, it's smart. Saying one wrong thing could sink him forever. His lawyers know that, and that's why no comment has become his only move. Still, it's a move that makes the public see him as guilty before a jury ever does. At the same time, this whole saga has turned into a war zone online. On one side, people want justice for Celeste. On the other, die-hard fans refuse to let go of their idol. Some are streaming his songs more than ever, while others are boycotting him entirely. It's messy, it's emotional, and it shows how social media can both build someone into a star and tear them down just as fast. For Celeste's family, none of this noise matters. They don't care about charts or brand deals. They lost their daughter, and no verdict or playlist placement will bring her back. Their strength in working with investigators while carrying that grief is something most of us couldn't imagine. They've been left to pick up pieces no family should ever have to touch. As this case moves forward, the big questions still hang heavy in the air. Will forensic tests from that Hollywood Hills mansion finally uncover the missing link prosecutors need? Will the seized electronics give investigators the smoking gun digital trail? Will David finally break his silence, or will his legal team keep hiding behind walls of no comment? And maybe the scariest question, what if this isn't the only case? What if more victims come forward with stories tied to him? One thing's certain, the music industry will never look at David the same way again. His career is shattered, his image is erased, and his name, once linked to rising stardom, is now tied to one of the darkest scandals in recent memory. For fans, it's a wake-up call about idolizing celebrities without really knowing what's behind the image. For the industry, it's a harsh reminder that ignoring red flags for profit can come back to burn everything down. And for Celeste's family, it's a nightmare they'll never wake up from. This case is more than music, more than fandom, more than headlines. It's about power, exploitation, and the ugly truth hiding behind fame. And as investigators keep pulling receipts, one thing is clear: the world will never hear David's music the same way again.